In spite of tightened security, businesses that bring in large groups of people, like malls, and now pouring billions into their own terror preparedness efforts. Joining us now, Fox News strategic analyst Lieutenant Colonel Ralph Peters is here. He's also the author of the new book, The Damned of Petersburg. Colonel, good to have you this morning.
Great to see you in studio with everybody.
Yes.
Southside Gal Dagan here.
He knows when I tell people where I'm from, if you say Southside, man, that hits right in my heart, because that's somebody who knows where I came from.
So great to be with you.
Yeah, good to be with you as well. So we're heading into this big holiday weekend. Security measures we are seeing stepped up. What do you make of our efforts right now in response to the most recent attack?
Well, the first thing I'd say is to all Americans, don't live in fear. The odds are on your side statistically. But we can't live in fear. We must go forward and live our lives, and it's very easy to become caught up in the hysteria. As far as the measures we're taking, domestically, our law enforcement has done an astonishingly good job. They don't get the credit they do, from the FBI down to the NYPD, of frustrating and foiling attacks. Inevitably, though, some will get through. You can't defend everywhere, and I think the terrorists have realized that globally, the softest of soft targets are tourism.
And when you say that, you look at these malls, and we have evidence that some of these soft targets, malls being one of them, are looking for ways to amp up their security. They're calling these counterterrorism experts in to say, what do we do? How do we protect people?
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, it always strikes me as a former intelligence officer, you look at a place like in Orlando, the big theme parks, they actually have pretty good security because they don't want to lose money. They don't want people sneaking in. But malls are a different story. People don't want to go through metal detectors to get into the mall, or movie theaters. And so when you hit the tourism industry, here you shock us, you harm us, but it doesn't really have a strategic effect on the economy. Whereas we just saw the attack in Istanbul, or the terrorist attacks in Tunisia or Egypt, they've realized that when you hit the tourist industry in a struggling country, it has a devastating economic effect.
I mean, and you talk about the dollar amount that they're spending. American companies already, before this attack even happened, were spending about $341 billion on security. That was in 1 year, 2014.
And that is a tragedy, because that's what the terrorists have really done to us, and we don't talk about it. The economic cost, I mean, that's just pure overhead. It's dead ends, sunk costs. It's not productive. The terrorists have managed to basically exact this tax on us. And I would say that it's certainly one of the many factors leading to growth rates that disappoint us a bit. But on the other hand, the one growth sector has been security business. The one group of industries that's doing well are security-related services. For
example, this closed-circuit cameras business alone has become an $8 billion industry, about 17 times larger than it was just 2 decades ago.
But I think you make a great point. This is really a drag on the economy. These are resources that could be being put into products and services that consumers really value, and instead they're seeing security cameras and gates at the front door. And I wonder if there's a strategic implication to this as well. When you get so much of the counterterrorism pushed down to businesses, do we lose the ability to put pieces of information together?
The alternative is a population, if they don't feel secure, they live in fear, and then that affects their behavior, and so the economic impact arguably could be worse than spending money on security.
Well, that goes to the idea, and I've talked about this on my show, of where we are. What is our footing as a nation? We hear the term war footing. We have economic footing, but we have a problem in this country, and if you contrast us with the population in Israel in this case, their awareness, when I go there, their awareness of the world they live in is a little bit more forward, a little bit more honest than ours. We tend to fall back in our bubble, and we get conflicting messages from Jay Johnson, who says yesterday that in the wake of Orlando, we're tightening security at the airports, when the administration and Loretta Lynch are omitting the cause for the incident, for the terrorist attack in Orlando. So you can see the confusion in the society.
But to that point, because the level of security that Israel has in place at the airports, even with the work that they do to investigate flyers even before you get to the airport, is so far and above what we do in this country. And I go back to people who were so upset about the long TSA lines. Those lines got long for a reason, because they stopped sending people through TSA pre-check because the head of the TSA was concerned about the people getting through after particularly the recent terror attacks. So again, I think we need to put it in perspective. It's like it might be an inconvenience, Ralph, but you know, the inconvenience is there for a reason.
I actually thank the TSA officers when I go through because they have as thankless a job as you could possibly have, and they're important. But there's a fundamental issue here. I don't want this country domestically on a war footing. We shouldn't permit that. The problem, and you just alluded to it, is that you can't win playing defense. We still are not remotely doing all we could to take the war to the terrorists. As you all know, we won't even let our law enforcement use words like jihad or Islamist terrorism. If you cannot name the enemy, how can you defeat him?
Colonel, I want to get to this as well. A newly released Navy investigation report found that poor leadership, judgment, and a, quote, lack of warfighting toughness led to the detention of 10 U.S. sailors by Iran. Are we failing to invest adequately to train our troops?
Well, welcome to Obama's military. The military's purpose is to kill America's enemies. That's it. All the other stuff is nice to do, but it's to kill America's enemies. But under the Obama administration, it's become a tool of social engineering. And it's an easy one to use because the president says do it, and you do it. It's not like trying to persuade Texas to do something. And so I think those sailors in the Gulf obviously did not have their code of conduct training, which is fundamental. The code of conduct under which all service members operate says when captured, you give your name, rank, service number, date of birth. That's it. They were, collaborating with the enemy, participating in videos,
right? I mean,
specs about their stuff. But that is the atmosphere that this president has created within our military, and it's devastatingly, it's just dangerous.
All right, we're going to leave it on that note. Thank you for weighing in on that as well. Colonel Ralph Peters, thank you.